One day Jesus was teaching, and all kinds of people came to listen to him. Tax collectors and sinners crowded around because they wanted to hear his words. But the Pharisees and teachers of the law grumbled and complained. "This man welcomes sinners and even eats with them." They thought Jesus shouldn't spend time with people who had done wrong things. So Jesus told them a story, a beautiful story about a father and his two sons. It's often called the parable of the prodigal son, but it could also be called the parable of the loving father. A man had two sons. One day the younger son came to his father and said, "Father, give me my share of the property now. I don't want to wait until you die." This was a terrible thing to ask. But the loving father agreed and divided his property between his two sons. The younger son took his money, packed his bags, and left home. He traveled far away to a distant country. There he wasted everything. He spent his money on wild parties and foolish living. Thought he was having fun, but soon the money ran out. Just when his money was gone, a famine came, a time when no food could grow. The young man had nothing to eat and no money to buy food. He was so desperate that he went to work for a farmer who sent him into the fields to feed pigs. For a Jewish boy, this was the lowest job possible. Pigs were unclean animals, and here he was, hungry enough to eat the slop the pigs were eating. No one gave him anything. Finally, he came to his senses. He remembered his father's house, where even the servants had plenty to eat. He thought, "How many of my father's hired servants have food to spare, and here I am starving to death? I will set out and go back to my father and say to him, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants.'" So he got up and started the long journey home. While he was still a long way off, his father saw him. The father had been watching and waiting, hoping his lost son would return. When he saw that familiar figure on the road, his heart was filled with compassion. He ran to his son. In that culture, older men of wealth did not run. It was undignified. But this father didn't care about dignity. He only cared about his son. He threw his arms around his boy and kissed him. The son began his speech. "Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son." But the father wouldn't even let him finish. Turned to his servants and shouted, "Quick! Bring the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Bring the fattened calf and kill it. Let's have a feast and celebrate. For this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found." And the party began. Now the older son was out in the field working. When he came near the house, he heard music and dancing. He called one of the servants and asked what was happening. "Your brother has come home," the servant said, "and your father has killed the fattened calf because he has him back safe and sound." The older brother was furious. He refused to go in. So his father came out and begged him to join the celebration. But the older son said bitterly, "Look, all these years I've worked for you like a slave. I've never disobeyed your orders, yet you never gave me even a young goat so I could celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours comes home, after wasting your money on prostitutes, you kill the fattened calf for him." The father's heart must have broken again. He said gently, "My son, you are always with me, and everything I have is yours. But we had to celebrate and be glad, because this brother of yours was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found." The story ends there. Jesus leaves us wondering, did the older brother ever go inside and welcome his brother home?